Welcome to Build Your Maverick Business, the podcast for underdog, outlier, and renegade entrepreneurs. Brought to you by Strange Creative Studio. If you dream of going off on your own and launching your rebel empire, but don't know where to start, you're in the right place. We'll teach you how to use mindset, branding, and practical advice to build a killer business and transform your world. And now, here's your host, founder of Strange, Alex Pitt.
Hello everyone, how is it going? I hope you're well. I have shocked myself this week. I've actually written 2 whole pages of notes for this episode, which, as many of you will know, is very unlike me. Don't tend to plan things very well, but yeah, exciting stuff. So with any luck, this will go really smoothly, but it is me, so let's just play it by ear, shall we? Anyway, so there's going to be some obscure pop culture references in this. You know how I like to be a bit tenuous with the links, but let's just give it a go, shall we? So I saw Oppenheimer at the weekend. I know everyone chose their lane, right? You had to see one or the other first. Please tell me, by the way, if you're one of the people who saw both Oppenheimer and Barbie in the same day and did that whole like black coffee in the morning, brunch in the afternoon with the girls thing. I've yet to meet anyone who did it, but it seemed like a great plan on paper. So yeah, we went to see Oppenheimer on Friday night and we went to one of those posho cinemas, which is a good thing because that film is 3 hours fucking long. So we went to this posho cinema with the reclining seats. So I was watching it kind of lying down with a glass of red wine because I'm a bougie bitch. Oh, it was magnificent. What a time to be alive. Now, I am really, really annoying to watch films with. Films and TV. And the reason is I've been given the most pointless gift. That gift is that I'm really, really good at recognising people in films or on TV shows, right? I recognise the actors, even if it's been like 30 years since the thing that I saw them in the first time. Now, the reason that this is pointless is it doesn't translate into real life. So I'll go up to somebody in the real world and introduce myself like, oh, hi, I'm Alex. And they're like, yeah, we've met before. You've been to my house. You were at my wedding. Lol, sorry, not ringing a bell. So, really fucking pointless gift. But when I was watching Oppenheimer, I was recognising all these people that I wasn't expecting to see in this film. All right, first of all, I lost my shit as soon as I saw Josh Hartnett, because when I was a younger girl, it was him all the way in Pearl Harbor. Oh my God, Pearl Harbor. He was so pretty in that film. So again, when I saw who was playing Harry Truman, I won't spoil that one because I mentioned it to Joe and he was just like, surely it's not him, surely not. And then looked it up afterwards and I was like, yeah, boy. Because every time I see somebody I recognise, I am whispering in Joe's ear like, Joe, he was in da-da-da-da-da. And bless Joe, bless that man. He is so patient with me in all aspects of our relationship. But I know that I'm being really annoying with that. Like, yes, Alex, actors do tend to be in more than one production throughout their careers. But no, he goes along with it. He goes, oh, well done. Yeah, very good. Now, I am going somewhere with this. I am going somewhere with it. Because my proudest and most obscure Oppenheimer actor spot was the guy that was playing Albert Einstein. The guy who plays Albert Einstein in Oppenheimer is also the actor who played Emily Waltham's dad in Friends. Boom. I was very proud of that one. Now, why do I tell you this, my darlings? I hear you cry. Partly because I wanted to show off my pointless fucking talent, but partly because I am going to talk to you about an Einstein quote today. Tenuous links for the win. That Einstein quote is, if you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. Okay, if you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. Now, the reason that I want to talk about this quote is to touch on something I mentioned in a previous episode. Now, this was the 2-parter when I talked about the mistakes you could be making if you're not selling anything at the start of your business journey, if you've built it and no one is coming. And it was that idea of having a simple sentence at the top of your website that explains in no uncertain terms what it is that you do. So you might have heard this term, this phrase being thrown around. That term is your value proposition. Now, your value proposition, according to Wikipedia, is In marketing, a company's value proposition is the full mix of benefits or economic value which it promises to deliver to the current and future customers, i.e. a market segment who will buy their products and or services. Oh my God, fuck me dead. This is why I do this podcast. I barely made it to the end of that without falling asleep. So let's try and break that down so it's a little bit less Wikipedia-esque. So all a value proposition is, right, it's a sentence, a statement that tells the people who might potentially buy your stuff, your products, your services. It tells them why they should do business with you rather than your competitors. And it makes the benefits of your products or services crystal fucking clear from the off. Okay, so in Alex terms, in Build Your Maverick Business terms, all that means is you need to understand very, 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 very well how it is that you're going to make your customer happy, how you're going to change their lives, introduce pleasure, remove pain or frustration. And you can know this inside out, right? You can have your demographics, you can have every product that you sell in the back of your mind, the quality of the materials you use, every case study, every transformation you've provided for your clients. That part is the understanding it well enough part of that Einstein quote. Now, the explaining it simply part, ironically, is a lot harder. I used to work for a very, very talented woman who would say all the time that the simplest things are the hardest to achieve. She was a fashion designer, right? So it's true when she was designing her clothing ranges. It's true for me when it comes to graphic design. If you're trying to do something on a plain background with just a font, shit, that's really hard to make look nice. So knowing what your business does, right? Knowing it inside out is one thing. Can you then sum it up in one punchy sentence that anybody, even your Aunt Sue, can just get? They can just understand it. Now, I'll give you a few kind of big player examples of this, right? So Uber, controversial as they are to some, use this sentence: the smartest way to get around. Now, Uber, we all know Uber. That's kind of why I use this as an example. We know that back in the day, I mean, I'm old enough to remember this. I say it like it was a million years ago. It really wasn't. But if you wanted to get somewhere, you would have to call your local taxi service. You would have to give them your address. They would have to try and work out where you lived. Then when you got to the place you wanted to go to, bearing in mind a lot of the time you hadn't been there before, you would have to try and fumble around giving your cab driver directions. You'd have to make sure that you had enough cash. You'd sometimes have to stop off at a cash point. It was all a bit of a faff. Now Uber, you go into the app, everything's paid by card, you don't have to put in your card details, they're all saved. Your driver can just see where you are and they can see where you're going. So you just get dropped off, right? The smartest way to get around. Pretty simple, right? So that's not going into the inside out of how the app works, how the company runs, anything like that. It's just a very, very simple top line to give you a taste straight from the off of what this company does and how that's going to benefit you. Everyone wants to get around smarter. Okay, let's look at ClassPass. One membership for fitness, wellness and beauty. Bish bash bosh, I get it. If I don't want to sign up for separate memberships for a gym, for my yoga classes, for this, that and the other, ClassPass will give it to me all in one place. One simple sentence, I get it. Now bear in mind that those businesses are huge. We've heard of ClassPass, we've heard of Uber. They have huge marketing teams and they're already pretty well known. So that might be a little bit unfair to use those examples, okay? So think about this podcast, right? When you first start listening to one of these episodes, my voice is not the first one you hear. The first voice you hear is actually Michael. If you didn't know, then the guy who does the introduction to this podcast with your little riffy sounds, that's Michael. Lovely chap. And what does he say? Welcome to Build Your Maverick Business, the podcast for underdog, outlier and renegade entrepreneurs, right? That sums this up in one sentence. It is a podcast, shock horror. It's for entrepreneurs, but not just any entrepreneurs. They're underdogs, they're outliers and they're renegades. So a lot of people are going to be immediately turned off by that. A lot of people, their interest is going to be piqued and they're excited and they're like, yes, I get it. I know what this is all about. Lisa Johnson, a business strategist who I follow very closely because I love what she does. Her value proposition is to help ambitious people to create passive and semi-passive income streams. I get it. Done. So those are service-based businesses, right? But if you look at Mary Wyatt, for example, a clothing brand that I fucking love, their value proposition, independent, consciously produced, dark fashion. Yeah, man, I'm into it. I get it. I know what you do. So you might be thinking at this point, okay, Alex, that's all pretty straightforward. I know what I do in one sentence. Great. Well done. Proud of you. But I really want you to do me a favour now, okay? Because there is a reason that I really wanted to go over what is quite, for anyone who's been in business a little while, this is quite bread and butter basic stuff. So you might be thinking that this is a little bit redundant. This is a little bit too easy. I want you to go off and do me a favour. Make sure that sentence, your value proposition, is the first thing that people see when they discover your brand. Have it be the first line of text they see when they Google you. The first sentence on your website. The first line in your Instagram bio. Put up a sign next to your market stall if you have to. Now, I've said it so many times, but people can be so fickle when it comes to their attention span on the internet, or in general, right? And I can say that because I am people. If I click on a website, even if I have an immediate interest in wanting to work with that person or see what they're all about, and I don't get quick enough what it is that they are offering me in exchange for my cold hard cash, I'm just going to lose interest and drop off. Let people know straight away what to expect. Don't leave them guessing what it is you do or how your products or services will benefit them. Know it well, explain it simply, then lead with it. Okay, that's it for me for this week, darlings. Have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will catch you here next time.
Got an idea for a maverick business of your own? Learn how to build a powerful brand that will get people obsessed with our online program, not just a pretty logo. You'll learn a simple step-by-step framework that will kickstart your killer brand and help you find your raving fan base. Find out more today at strangecreativestudio.com.